Good morning, Sunday. How are we feeling today? Good morning. Another episode of Be the Method on a Sunday, 60-minute format. I'm super excited. We're going to be not starting standing today. We're going to end standing, which might be kind of interesting to see how our bodies change from starting in one way, ending in another way, kind of switching it up, seeing kind of how our strength builds throughout the class. I'm really excited. If anybody's new here, we're using a stability ball here, but there are many different things you can use as a substitute. You can use a firm pillow, you can use a towel, you can use, somebody was saying that they were using like a travel pillow as like a little bit of a prop. Anybody have any quick last minute questions? We are going to be using a prop, and we're just going to start moving here very soon. I hope everybody's feeling really good. It's like gloomy today. It was beautiful yesterday here, and now it's like gloomy and rainy. I don't know what's going on. It's all over the place. But anyway, let's just get started. Let's start moving. Let's start moving our body. We're going to start on our knees. So let's make your way to your mat. If you have any knee issues, now is your chance to take your towel and put it underneath your knees. We're going to take the ball between your inner thighs and then just flatten your feet down. So you're going to lift up through the abdominals here. Just start to reach your hand forward, and then your hands are going to press back from here. And you're going to make sure your weight is pulled forward onto your knees. So you're starting to test your core balance here. So we're not going to be hinging back here. You're going to keep your weight up and forward. Try to lift up out of the abdominals, taking your hands back. Just warming up the shoulders. And let's do one more. We're going to start to hinge at the hips. You're going to hinge your hips back, reaching your hands out through here, lifting up through the abdominals, pressing your arms back. So you're hinging backwards, pulling the core and pressing your arms back. So you're still squeezing the ball. We're trying not to just dip back from your quads. You're really pulling the core and reaching the arms out, pressing your hands back, reaching it out here, starting to build some heat inside of your body. Let's do two more. And lift. And then this last one, we're going to hold this position. Just start to take your arms back behind you, reaching them out in front of you. You're softening the feet here, keeping your spine nice and long, abdominals stay nice and in. You're trying to pull your shoulders back away from your ears, elongate out of your neck, and just keep flowing through here. We're also, with these moves, we're starting to build up some of your blood circulation, so everything is kind of moving throughout your body as we move our bodies. And then reach all the way forward. You're going to take your arms back, hold it up through here, just start to do tiny pulses up. So we're starting to activate the triceps, keeping the core in. Check in with your prop, make sure you're still squeezing it, but it's more inner thighs, pelvic floor, less of the knee here. So feet are flattened. Tiny pulses. Feel the triceps burning also. It's like very deep inner tricep work here. And let's do two more. And you're going to lift up and hold, start to bend the elbows and then press your hands back. So tiny presses back through here. So your neck stays long. Try to keep your elbows glued into your side as well. And back. How are we feeling? Just a nice, calm way to start, kind of to connect into your body and to be like, okay, I'm here. Every muscle's working. My glutes are starting to work as well. Two more. One more. Press your arms back. We're going to round forward, pulling the core in as you reach your arms forward. And we're going to lift all the way up to standing here, pressing your arms back. So you're going to round forward as you pull your weight back over your heels, lifting up, open up the chest, rounding forward, and press it up. Let's do two more. And back, really nice. One more. And back. And now we're going to round forward. You're going to make your way onto your hands and knees here. So you're going to pull your shoulders underneath your, on top of your wrists. Pull your elbows facing forward. You're going to start to tuck your toes underneath. We're going to hover up and hold, keeping the abdominals in, dropping the knees down. So let's just hover up here and hold, and drop it down. So you're feeling your abdominals start to lift up in towards your spine. You're pulling your shoulders back away from your ears. Let's do three more. So you're going to lift up and hover. Two more. And then one more. You're going to lift up here and hover and hold. So you're still squeezing the ball. You're going to start to bend your elbow slightly. Your chest is going to go down to the ground, and then you're going to push it back up. So tiny bends. You're trying to keep your knees in the same position. If you need to here, you can always drop down to your knees. So your elbows stay in. Press it up. It's a lot of work here to stabilize, so really pull the core in. Press it up. Let's do 2 more. And up. 1 more. Whew. Drop your knees down. Untuck your toes. Now make sure your spine stays neutral here. We're going to lift your left arm up, so you're just going to pull it in here. Drop that hand down. So you're going to lift your right arm up and drop it down. And as you lift that left arm up, you're thinking oblique is pulling inwards, and you're pushing down almost as if you're creating some sort of resistance. And down. Building that heat. So we're just testing your balance here. Try not to shift your weight backwards because you won't really feel anything over here. You want to make sure that you're shifted forward. So your knees are almost like slightly behind your body. Lift. And down. Let's go over to the right. And then 1 more left, 1 more right. And keep breathing here. Take your left hand all the way back. So you're going to open up your chest. You're going to drop that hand down. Let's take your right arm back and drop it down. So you're just reaching it out, elongating out of that arm. Keeping the core and trying to keep your chest parallel to the floor. Let's lift it up. Good. Keep breathing here. And then let's take your left arm up. You're going to hold here. Start to bend the elbow and press it back. So you're going to check in with the right side of your body. Make sure that elbow is facing forward. It's softened here. Your left elbow stays pulled into your side. You're squeezing the ball. Make sure that you're shifting your weight forward so you're really pulling in the core. And let's do 2 more. And 1 more. And then drop that hand down. Pull your abdominals in. You're going to start to take your right arm back. Make sure your left elbow is forward. You're going to do tiny pulses up with that arm. Feel the obliques connecting. Keep pulling that left shoulder back. Keep the abdominals in. I'm already very warm. I'm like instantly heated up today. Good. And then hold that arm up. You're going to start to bend the elbow. Press it all the way back. So bend it in. Press it back. Elongate out of the neck. And back. Let's do 2 more. And 1 more. And then drop that hand down. Round up into a cat and cow. So rounding up through the abdominals. Pulling your shoulders back. Opening up your chest. Let's do 1 more. Round it all the way up. So pulling the core in. And then we're coming back into a flat back here. Roll your shoulders back. And now keeping the knees down, you're going to shift your weight forward very slightly. Bend the elbows. Your chest is going to go further down to the floor. And lift. So we're shifting forward. We're going to bend it down. So now you're like at a little bit more of a forward hinge than we did in the beginning. And then bend it down. Keep pulling in the core. 2 more. Shift. Bend it down. Lift. 1 more. And bend. And then sit back into a child's pose. Let's reach your hands all the way out. You're going to start to tuck your toes underneath. We're going to press out into a full plank. So you're going to open up your chest. Elbows are going to stay forward here. Abdominals stay in. Just start to dip your knees down to the floor. And then press your legs out. So you're dipping here. And press it out. So your toes are kind of lifted up here in your heels. You don't have to dip your knees all the way down. It can be just a tiny dip if you want to. Stay lifted up out of the shoulders. Let's do 3 more. 2 more. And then 1 more here. Good. And then drop the knees down. Press it all the way back. So you're pressing out into a child's pose. Slowly start to articulate the spine all the way up. We're going to start to reach your hands up and over your head. Take your arms out to the side. You're going to turn your palms facing up. Just start to lift up through here. Drop it down. Feel your inner thighs working. Take your arms all the way up. I'm hot. For some reason today, I got there like very, very, very quickly. Think lifting up through the abdominal wall, pressing your arms down. One more. And down. Okay. Let's take your knees wide. Take the ball between your ankles. You're going to find a nice wide stance through here. Start to lift up through the abdominals here. You're just going to reach your hands all the way up to the ceiling. And then drop your arms down. So find kind of the shift in balance here and kind of where you have to control the abdominals. Reach your hands forward. Whew. Almost fell forward. That's kind of how far forward you want to go. Is like you're really testing your core strength as you're balancing on your knees here. So you're kind of like forward, like right there. You're like, oh, okay, almost going to fall back. Let's do 2 more. And back. Feel your glutes connecting. Whew. 1 more. And then start to hinge backwards, reaching your hands all the way out. Pulling the abdominals in, pressing your arms back. So we're going here and lift. And feel like your abdominals pull you back as your arms and upper body stretches out in front of you. And lift. Reach it out. And lift. Let's do 2 more. And lift. And this last one, you're going to hold this position. Circle your arms around. You're squeezing your pinkies in together. Taking your hands up and over your shoulders. So we're keeping your palms facing down to the floor. Keeping the core engaged here. Continue that deep, expansive breathing through your ribs. And out. Let's do 2 more. And up and over, last one. And then up. You're going to take your arms all the way back. Turn your palms facing inwards. Start to pulse your hands up through here. So your neck stays long. Your pinkies are reaching up to the ceiling. So it's a little bit of a different way to connect into the triceps, the lats, the rhomboids between your shoulder blades. Keeping the core in here. You feeling okay? Hold the arms up. Start to bend the elbows. Press your hands back. Bend it in and then press it back. Really nice. Your glutes should be on fire here too. If you can, really tap into the inner thighs, pelvic floor, and then back. Let's do 2 more. And 1 more. And then start to round yourself forward, reaching out of the hands. You're going to lift all the way up, pressing your arms back. Pulling the abdominals, start to reach it out. Lift it up. 2 more. Stretching out through your arms, pulling the core in. Pressing it back. 1 more. Round it forward. Pressing it back, and then we're going to make your way onto your hands. Hands are underneath your shoulders here. Start to tuck your toes underneath. You're going to hover your knees up here and hold, and then drop the knees down. So you're pulling your core in, you're starting to hover and hold, check in with your elbows. So when I mean elbows facing forward, it's like you're rotating the inner parts of your elbows forward so that your shoulders open up. Let's do 2 more. Pull the core in. Drop it down. 1 more, we're going to hover up here and hold. Now you're going to bend your elbows slightly and lift it up. Tiny bends here. Your knees stay in the same position. You can always drop down to your knees if this feels too much today. And up. 2 more. And up. Whew. 1 more. And up. Drop the knees down. Untuck the toes. Pull your shoulder blades back. Start to extend your left arm out. You're going to open up and rotate over to the left. And then you're just going to drop that arm down. So let's take your right arm out. You're going to start to rotate over to the right. And then drop it down. So keeping your body weight in the center here. Opening up, twist. Drop it down. Let's go over to the right. Open, 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 twist. And then watch what this supporting shoulder is. So as I'm opening up to the left, my right shoulder still pulls away from my ear. I'm rotating from the belly button up. Rotate, rotate, rotate. Drop it down. Sit back into a child's pose, stretching out through your arms. Start to tuck your toes underneath, and you're going to press yourself out into a full plank. Elbows stay forward through here. You're going to bend your knees wide, start to press through your arms, zipping up through the inner thighs, open up the chest. So lead with the core here, pressing it back. You're going to stretch, 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 elongating out of the spine. I hope if you've been joining me for a while, these are starting to get a little bit easier to connect into the core. Really nice and fluid. So still challenging, but the position feels a little bit more comfortable. 2 more. Zipping up the inner thighs. And 1 more. All the way out. You're going to bend your knees down. Press yourself all the way out through here. You're going to roll through the spine. Start to lift up on top of your knees, taking your arms out to the side. Take a deep breath here. You're going up and over to the left. So you're stretching out through here. We're going to twist and rotate, open up, and come back to center. So just a slight twist. You're going up and over to the right, pulling the core and rotating the spine. Open it up. Good. We're going up and over. You're just doing a slight rotation. Your knees stay where they are, pulling the core in. Also trying to warm up your spine in a little bit of a twist to prep you for some other moves that we'll be doing. And 1 more each side, up and over. Slight twist. So trying to keep your weight on top of your knees here. All the way up and over. And then come back to center. Let's do 2 arm circles. Good. Okay, let's flip your legs around. Let's take your legs at the front, or your feet at the front of the mat. Take the ball between your ankles. We're going to keep yourself in parallel from here. Lifting up out of your chest, let's slowly start to roll down, peeling the spine down 1 vertebrae at a time. A reminder, if you're pregnant, we don't want to do the full roll downs here because I don't want you to grip into the abdominals as you lift. Also diastasis, we don't want to do these. So you can just do tiny lower lifts. Just start to add like a little mini C curve of your spine, try to work through some of the vertebrae. If you're not having any issues here, really allow your spine to elongate here, stretching out through your thoracic, lifting it all the way up. 2 more, scoop and roll down, peeling through the spine. And then let's lift it back up. And 1 more, scoop and roll all the way down. Take your hands up over your head. And let's lift it right back up. And now we're going to scoop and roll halfway. So you're pulling the core in here, opening up the chest very slightly. Drop the shoulders. We're going to take your right arm out to the side, pull it back into the center. So now your upper body is staying square. We're starting to learn how to move that shoulder without moving the body and moving the arm and shoulder, kind of opening it up, keeping the core in. And then check in with your prop. Make sure you're squeezing and your knees are not touching, so it's coming more from inner thighs, pelvic floor. Open it up here. Back to center. How are we feeling? I'm so hot today. Open it up. And 1 more, over to the left. Back to center, dropping the shoulders here. Scoop and roll all the way down, taking your hands up over your head. Let's pull the chin in. Slowly start to lift right back up. And now scoop and roll halfway down. We're going to take your left elbow, we're going to bend it in here, so you're going to pull it in, stretch it out. You can turn your palms facing downward. Let's take your right elbow, reach it out. So you're thinking like pulling the shoulder back and the lat, extend that arm out. We're going here and out. Nice little, you're keeping your chest square towards your shoulders. We're not adding a twist yet. And let's go 1 more on each side. If your lower back starts to hurt, give yourself a break. You can grab on underneath your knees. Take a moment here. We're going to scoop and roll all the way down. Hands come up. Let's pull the chin in. Slowly starting to lift right back up. And now let's scoop and roll halfway down here. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to add a twist. So now you're rotating in the upper body. Stretch that arm out. So you're twisting to the right. And the rotation comes from the belly button up. So you're like rotating, rotating, rotating. There's no end point. So it's like you're rotating, rotating, and then coming back. So you're like constantly moving, constantly rotating along the spine. Let's go over to the right. And back. 1 more each side. You're going to go twist, twist, twist. And then over to the right. Twist, twist, twist. Back to center here. Let's scoop and roll all the way down. Taking your hands up over your head. Let's pull the chin in. Slowly start to lift right back up. Okay, we're gonna make your way onto your elbows. Let's take your elbows back behind you here. You're gonna lift up in the chest. Open up the chest and start to take your knees up at tabletop. So you're gonna try to find a flat back here. You're staying lifted up out of the core. You're gonna twist over to the right. You're gonna use your abdominals to come back to center. So we've visited this position before. Your upper body stays square, your neck is staying long. It's just your lower half starting to twist. Back to center. Let's go over to the left. Back to center. We're gonna go over to the right. You're gonna hold here. I want you to extend your legs out and bend the knees. So if you need to go out on like a lower diagonal, that's also fine. We're stretching it out, pulling the core in. Still lifted up off the shoulders. 2 more. And then 1 more. Bend the knees, pull the knees back to center. We're gonna go over to the left, lift up in the chest again. Extend your legs out, bend the knees. So you're reaching it out, bend the knees in. Also, if you're pregnant, check in with your twisting to make sure that you're not twisting too much. You're kind of finding your own twist within your range of motion, also how far along you are in your pregnancy. 2 more. 1 more. Let's pull your knees back to center. Lift up out of the chest here. You're gonna dip your legs down an inch, lift it up an inch. So tiny lifts just in the center of your body here. Everything stays square. Your inner thighs are engaged. Abdominals stay engaged. Stay lifted up off your shoulders. 2 more. 1 more. And then you're gonna drop your feet close into your body. Start to walk yourself up onto your hands here. We're gonna lift up out of the chest. You're gonna keep it kind of tight and squeeze the ball through here. You're gonna flatten out your spine. So I'm going from like a tuck to a flat back here, pulling the abdominals in, tiny dips of the elbows, press it up. So it's mostly about the lift up in your chest. You're connecting into the core, pulling the abdominals in, very tiny, and lift, and lift. Still squeezing the inner thighs. Let's do 3 more, 2 more, 1 more. Woo. Drop the hips down, reach your feet out a little bit further. You're gonna reach your hands out, scoop and roll all the way down, taking your hands up over your head. Let's pull the chin in, slowly starting to lift right back up, and you're gonna grab onto the ball in this next one. You're gonna take your feet together. The ball goes behind your shoulder blades, and then we're gonna lay down. Okay, let's find this position here. Feet are together, knees are slightly wide. You're just opening up your chest over the ball. Feel how it like really opens up your chest cavity here, relaxes your shoulders. Hands come back behind your head, and you're gonna look up towards your abdominals here. So one thing to notice is that your spine stays long. You're trying to get a neutral pelvis here, but not arch your spine. So it's like halfway between a tuck and an arch. You're gonna open up your chest. Do a little curl looking up towards your abdominals. So you're gonna curl up as high as you can keep your tailbone in neutral, and you're not leading with the neck. So it's just tiny, tiny lifts here. Also, you want your head to be pressed into your arms. So I'm actually making like clasping my fingers together, taking them in the nape of my neck, and pressing my head down and connecting into my triceps as I lift. So it gives your neck a little bit of a break here. And down. Let's go lift. And down, pressing the tailbone down, pulling the core in. Good, and lift. My ankles are sweating. That's how sweaty I am right now. Okay, let's do 3 more. Pull the core in. How are we feeling? Are we hanging in there? Are we feeling pretty good today? And let's lift up. You're gonna hold it up through here. Start to squeeze your knees together. Open your knees out wide. So now you're keeping the upper body curl. Starting to connect your inner thighs to pull it in, but you're still connecting in the core here. Squeeze. And let's do 3 more. 2 more. And then 1 more. You're going to open up your knees as you open up your chest. Squeeze the knees as you lift up and curl. So you're opening it up. Lift up and curl. And let's open it up through here, really trying to tackle the low abdominals here without tucking the pelvis. Opening it up and curl. And let's do 3 more here. Curl up. 2 more. And curl. 1 more. And curl. And now you're going to keep those knees squeezed together. You're going to rotate over to the right. Pull your abdominals back to center. Rotate over to the left. So my upper body is not dipping down. I'm just rotating here. Back to center. And twist. And back to center. Let's go over to the right. So you're trying to look past your shoulders. You're like twisting kind of in a direction over your head. You're rotating, rotating, rotating. And then let's go over to the left. Good, back to center. Open up the knees, open up the chest for a second. Just allow everything to relax. And then we're gonna take your hands behind your head. We're gonna curl up again here and hold. Grounding your pelvis down. You're gonna start to ease up on the feet because we're gonna start to hover the legs up. You're gonna lift your right leg up and then drop it down. Let's lift your left leg up and drop it down. So the key here is to try not to shift the hips. If you're feeling very stable in your neck, it's also sometimes a great way, like a great thing to kind of like guide yourself here with your hips, just to kind of feel how it shifts. You can take your hands back here, it's a little bit more challenging. You're gonna lift and drop. Then we're gonna hover your right leg up here and hold. You're gonna stretch out through that leg, start to draw that knee back in. So you're lengthening out through there, drawing the knee in. I want you to find yourself like reaching, 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 elongating out and still elongating out of your spine as your leg draws in. So you're stretching it out, draw it in. Let's reach it out, draw it in. Let's do 2 more. And 1 more. And you're going to extend it all the way out. You're going to drop it down to the floor. You're going to cross your right leg past your left knee. So now we're at like a little bit of rotation in the body, or a rotation in that leg. And we're going to open up your chest here. Do a little mini curl and lift. So you're opening it up. Curl and lift here. And lift. So grounding your pelvis down. Keeping your neck elongated. Try not to feel like you're gripping in the neck up here. Let's do 1 more. Curl up here and hold. You're going to start to hover that left leg, so you're going to tap it past your leg, and you're going to extend it out on a diagonal. So you're just tapping here, extend it out. So tapping, extending. So your leg stays in the same position, and extend it out. Let's do 3 more. 2 more. And then 1 more. All the way out, you're going to drop that foot down, open up your chest. Now you're going to do a little twist over to the left, come back to center, rotate over to the left, back to center. You're going to go twist. How are our abdominals feeling here? Ready for some like twisted motions, some roll downs through the spine. 2 more. Twist through here. And 1 more. Good. And then uncross that left leg. Let's open up your chest. Give yourself a stretch for a second. Sometimes the ball starts to move around if you're moving your tailbone around, so just find that position again. Taking your hands behind your head, you're going to curl up, flatten your feet so your heels are now together. Your spine stays long, hands are back behind your head. We're going to hover that left leg up, drop it down. Let's hover the right leg up, drop it down. And now your left leg is going to lift up here. Start to extend that leg out, draw that knee in. So you're reaching it out, draw the knee in. So you're really like stretching, elongating out through the inner thigh. As you draw the leg in, you're trying to connect into your glutes too. So you're pressing your tailbone down, you're like connecting behind the leg. 2 more. And 1 more. And we're going to stretch that leg all the way out, drop that foot down, cross your right leg over your left leg. Start to open up your chest here, add a little curl, open it up, and curl. So you're still keeping your spine long, trying to elongate out of your legs too, so feel your inner thighs even pulling your legs together. 1 more. Lift up and hold, start to hover that right foot. You're going to extend it on a diagonal, cross through here, reaching it out, and cross. So you're thinking length, 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 all the way out through your leg, and then cross here. Let's do 3 more. 2 more. And then 1 more. And then you're gonna cross, drop it all the way down, open up your chest, do a little curl, twist over to the right. Oh, my abs, wow. Twisting through here. So belly button up is the rotation. You're doing a slight rotation. You're trying to look past that right shoulder, twist. 2 more. And 1 more. Good. Drop that foot down. Open up your chest, stretch it all the way out. And then you're going to take your hands behind your head. You're going to curl up. Start to reach your hands forward through here. We're going to lift up, grab onto that ball. You can roll the ball down your legs, drop the head down, take a nice stretch. Really stretching out through the neck here. Good. And then let's lay all the way flat. Star sticker. Okay, let's take your heels on top of the ball. You're going to walk your ball in very closely to your body. Your knees are going to rotate outwards. You're going to externally rotate here. Heels are slightly on the ball, but you're going to give yourself some space. You're not going to go super into a high heel. It's like kind of a half high heel here. Taking your hands out to your side and pressing your arms down to the floor. We're going to start to slowly peel all the way up. You're going to tuck and lift your hips up high, opening up the chest through here. And then scoop and roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. So rolling through the spine. Try to work through some of that thoracic strengthening we did. So a lot of like your back was staying very stable and lifted up on the balls. So make sure that you're trying to roll through those muscles. Also here, if you're pregnant and it feels uncomfortable to go into a bridge, you can just stay all the way down. Just start to do tiny, tiny lifts. It doesn't have to go all the way up. And then scoop and roll all the way down. So rolling through the spine. Let's do 2 more. Lift all the way up. And then rolling through the spine. And then last one. Let's lift all the way up here and hold. Keeping your hips up high. Start to turn your palms to the ceiling. You're going to squeeze your hands together. And then open your arms out wide. So I want you to reach your fingers out kind of as far away from your body as possible. You'll feel a little bit of a nerve stretch happening in your biceps, in your pecs here. And then feel like you're moving in a denser space than air. So it's like you're really actively pulling the arms in. And now we're going to add some hips. So now as you squeeze your arms, you're going to dip your hips down, squeezing the hands, opening up the chest, lifting the hips up high. Dipping it down here, lifting it up, opening up the chest. You're going to go down and open up and lift. Let's do 3 more. And lift, really opening up the chest. Check in with your neck. Make sure this is allowing your neck to kind of have a nice little break here too. Lifting up, take your palms down to the floor. Start to squeeze your knees together. Open your knees out wide. It's a tiny squeeze. And open. So squeeze and open here. And open. Let's do 3 more. 2 more. And 1 more. Let's open the knees out wide. Scoop and roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. Ooh, nice. And then take the ball in between your knees. We're going to do some rolling like a ball here. So start to kind of add a little momentum in the spine, and then we're going to lift up here. We're going to pull the abdominals in, lifting up through the abdominals, and you're going to scoop and roll back onto your shoulder blades, lifting up here and hold. So you're dropping the shoulders, connecting in the inner thighs here, lifting up and hold. Let's do 3 more. 2 more. Your shoulders should have a nice break from here. We're going to do some glute work. So try to really relax your shoulders, roll through the thoracic spine here, and lift. Let's do 1 more. Scoop and roll back. Lift it all the way up. You can open up your knees. Let's take a butterfly stretch for a second. Check in with your body here. You can kind of like rock your hands side to side, stretching out of your spine. And then we're going to flip over and make our way onto our hands and knees. We're going to take the ball behind your left knee. So give it a squeeze right here. Make sure that you can really hang on to that because we're going to keep it there for kind of a while here. Okay, let's go down onto your forearms. You're gonna make a triangle shape with your hands here. If you're feeling like your wrists are gripping, you can always make a fist and keep like a really strong fist through here. If you're feeling, you know, you can go here or you can go here. So your knees are underneath your hips. Shifting your weight forward so that your thumbs match up with your nose, so you're really connecting into the core, and you're gonna start to hover that left leg up. So I want you to keep a soft foot today, okay? So your abdominals stay in. You're gonna do tiny pulses up here. I want you to connect into that left oblique as we do a tiny pulse here. So you're pulling the core in. Tiny pulses through here. Shoulders are back. Tiny, tiny. You're still squeezing the ball, so it's still like a slight squeeze. It's not like a full squeeze. You're just kind of like lightly holding it, and that does enough of the work on the hamstring and the glute there too. 2 more. Good. And then you're going to drop the knee down to the floor. You're just going to tap and lift it right back up. So you're going to tap it down and lift it up. So you're just finding a range of motion here, still keeping your spine long. And then lift. Still holding onto that left oblique. Your glute will start to fire up here. And if you're feeling it in that right supporting leg, that's also correct. You're not just going to feel it in that left leg. Okay, so the supporting leg does a lot of work. You're going to hover through here. You're going to keep the knee up really high. You're just going to open the knee out to the side and then pull it back to center. So my heel is staying in the same position. I'm just opening up the hip, pulling it back to center. Opening it up, pulling it back to center. So it's just an external rotation in the hip, opening, pull it back. Let's do 3 more. 2 more here. And 1 more. Good. And then you're going to open up the hip. So now your hip stays open. You're going to take your knee into your side, kind of down to the floor, and then lift it up and back. So shoulders are back. You're going to dip it down here. Take it up from there. So you're trying not to shift your weight onto your left elbow. You're trying to keep it even on both sides of your body here. Your foot is nice and soft. You're opening it up, dropping down, and lift. Let's do 1 more. And lift. Drop down to that knee here. So you're going to drop the knee, walk your hands underneath your shoulders. Roll your shoulders back and then take your elbows forward. So if you need to, you can tap this foot down, or if not, you can hang on here if you feel like your knee is supported. You're going to stretch out through that right leg. Roll your shoulders back. We're going to start to pull the abdominals in. You're going to hover that knee up and hold, and then drop it down. So you're hovering up the knee and hold. Elbows are forward, shoulders are back. Drop it down. And let's do 3 more. So you're lifting up through here. 2 more. On the next one, we're going to hold it all the way up. So you're pulling your abdominals and you're going to hold here. Just start to take that left knee up, and then you're going to pull it into your chest. You're going to lift it up through here, pulling the knee in. If this feels too much to do this move here up on your arms, you can always drop down your knee. Take a moment. It's very challenging. And then drop the knee down. Drop the opposite knee down. We're going to turn your right hand facing inwards. Your left hand is going to go on the outside. And then we're going to open up here. So you're going to lift it up, lifting up off that shoulder. So you're twisting your upper body kind of towards your left side here, towards that knee. Start to pull the knee into your chest. You're going to take it slightly behind you, but without arching your spine. So we're going to go like right to about there. So pulling the knee in, taking it out. Make sure you're breathing here too. And keep pulling the core and keep squeezing that ball also. If your neck starts to hurt, this is a really good chance to just drop your head down to the floor. We're not going to drop the shoulder, but you can just turn your head down. Let's do 2 more. And then 1 more. And then you're going to take your leg back through here. You're going to tap at the ankles. You're dipping it down and lifting it up. So your hip stays open. You can notice that I'm like almost not tapping it all the way down, but I'm trying to. Like I'm trying to pull it down, but still lifting up my core and up. Drop it down and lift. Good. Keep it in here. Nice. Really nice. Let's do 3 more. And lift. more. And lift. And let's do one more. Let's lift it up. And you're gonna hold here. You're gonna do tiny pulses up. Keep pulling in the core. Ooh, I've got the like deep inner shakes happening here in my leg. Keep connecting the entire body to support you here. 3 more, 2 more, and 1 more. Drop the knee down. Let's grab onto the ball out behind your left knee. Let's take a pigeon stretch on your left side. Stretch it all the way down. You can drop your head down. Take a nice stretch through here. Release your neck. You can tap on that hip. Sometimes it helps to like really tap in and get deep in there with like a fist. All right, I'm gonna flip over to the other side. We're good, we're ready to continue. Let's get right into it. Take the ball behind your right knee, give it a nice squeeze. Find your position first, so allow your leg to lift up. Take your hands into your triangle shape here, shifting your weight forward. Hovering up here, so before you even start anything, pull the core in, pull your shoulders back, soft foot here, okay? Tiny squeeze, tiny pulses up. So you're trying to find your center. Keep lifting up in the core here. Just a reminder that the second side is always more challenging because your supporting leg is doing a lot of work. So if you feel a little bit more on this side, it's because your left leg has already done all that work, as has your right leg. Good, and then start to drop the knee all the way down to the floor. Let's lift it all the way up. So full range of motion here, but without collapsing in the spine. So your spine stays nice and long, lifting it up, dropping it down, and lift. So we're going right here, and lift. Let's do 1 more. You're gonna lift it up and hold. Keep your foot there. Just start to open up that hip, pull it back to center. So you're rotating that hip joint open, pulling it back to center, opening it up, back to center. Let's do 3 more, 2 more. And then 1 more, you're gonna open it up. Start to pull that knee in towards your right side, and then press it out. So you're pulling it in, press it out. It's a lot of oblique work to kind of pull that knee in. So you're pulling the knee in, pressing it back, checking in with your shoulders. 2 more. Reminding yourself that this is only temporary. We will work through some of this work after. 1 more. And then drop the knee down. So nice. Walk yourself up onto your hands here, rolling your shoulders back and then turning your elbows facing forward. Let's extend your left leg all the way out. Pulling the core in through here, you're going to start to hover yourself up. So you're lifting your knee up because your core is pulling into your spine. It's not just about just lifting the knee up. So you're pulling your core in. We're hovering up here and hold. And then drop it down. So you're lifting up, pulling the core in. Drop it down. This next one, you're going to hover up and hold. Really stretching through that right leg. We're going to lift, lower, tiny lifts. Still squeezing the ball. How are we feeling? I'm definitely sore. And down. 2 more. 1 more. Amazing. Drop it down. Drop your right knee down. You're going to take your left hand facing inwards. Let's open up out to the side. So let's find this position. Lift up in the core here. This arm is just lightly there just for kind of support. You don't want to put too much weight onto that. Pulling the abdominals in here. You're going to pull your knee in. You're going to take it slightly back behind you. So a reminder, if your neck starts to hurt you, you can drop it down. Just give it a full break there. And back. Very nice. Tiny moves here. Keeping the core in. Keep squeezing that ball. I hope you all are feeling okay and good and sweaty and, here. 2 more. And back. Let's do 1 more. And then back here and hold. You're going to tap your ankles down so you're keeping that hip open. So you're dropping it down and lift. drop it down, lift it up. Whew. Very tiny lifts. Remind yourself to check in with your core. You're staying lifted up off the core. One more. Lift it up through here, tiny pulses up. Drop the shoulders back away from the ears, connecting in the core. Whew. Keep breathing. 3, 2, and 1. Holy moly. Okay. Wow. That one really got me today. Let's take your right leg forward. Take your pigeon stretch. Stretch out through here, dropping your head down. Okay. You needed a full moment. All right, let's take the ball between your knees. We're going to go over onto your right elbow. We're going to add some twists here, and then we're going to continue. Reach it all the way up here, squeezing the ball. I want you to pull your hips forward, lifting up through here, reaching that top arm out. You're going to start to fold that left arm underneath. I want you to rotate down to the floor. And then I want you to rotate up to the ceiling slightly so your hips stay stacked, your chest rotates. You're going to pull it down through here, nice little twist. And then up. And then 2 more. And open up that chest. 1 more. Open up, so you're nicely opening up both shoulders. Come back to center. You're going to lift your hips up. Take that hand up and over your head. I want you to dip down slightly. You can look over towards your knee. Lift it up here. If the dip feels too much on your shoulder, just go back into this position here. But if you can, go like a little tiny dip. And let's do 3 more. And dip. 2 more. Lift it up. And dip. 1 more. All the way up. Whew. And then dip it down. You can drop your hips down. We're going to twist down to the floor. I want you to slowly make your way. Actually, you might try maybe to get up from elbow to wrist, not like I did. Twist your hips over to the left. Hands are going to be underneath your shoulders here. So now we're like in a twist down to the floor, but your hips are over to the left. You're going to push through the arms, and you're going to press your body out straight. So you're rotating through the upper body, through the lower body in 2 different directions here, rolling through the spine. Start to lift up out of the shoulders, and then we're going to come forward like this. If you're pregnant, you can also modify, or if you feel like that twist is a little too aggressive, you can kind of take your knees on like a very slight diagonal here, not so twisted. Let's do 2 more. All the way back. Rolling through the spine. Let's lift up through here. 1 more. And then rolling through the spine. Lift it in and up. And then just sit back, stretch out through that left arm. Stretch out through the right arm. And then let's roll up through here. We're going to go right over to the other side. All right, the ball is between your knees. Go down onto your left elbow. Make sure your hips are in line with your knees, in line with your shoulders. You're staying lifted up off the core here. Your feet can be together. Start to reach that right arm up, lift up out of that left shoulder. We're going to twist down, rotating down to the floor. Start to open up your chest slightly up to the ceiling. Rotating down, nice little twist here. Open up the chest. Rotating down. So you're still lifting up off that left shoulder. Try not to dip too far there. You're pulling the core in. You're using the ball or the prop as a gauge to kind of keep your knees in line with your hips. Come back to center here. Let's lift your abdominals up. Take that right hand up and over your head. You're going to dip it down very slightly. Lifting it up, pulling the core in. Dip it down very slightly. Still reminding yourself that the core is the root of all of these exercises. That is the first thing to lift. It's not necessarily your arms or your hips. It's a core pulling in and up, lifting it up through here. Drop it down. 1 more. Now lift up. Drop it down. You can drop to your hips. We're going to rotate down to the floor. You're going to find this rotation in the right side of your body. Your hands are going to be underneath your shoulders. You're twisting your hips to the right. Pull the abdominals and you're pressing your right knee down to the floor as you stretch out of your spine. Rolling through the spine here. Let's start to lift up out of the chest. Pulling the abdominals in, stretching through your body. Also, if the twist just doesn't feel right, you can also go straight into like a regular kind of moving child's pose here without the twist. Let's do one more. Rolling through the spine. And then let's sit back, stretching through your right arm, stretching through your left arm, pulling your hips backwards over towards your right side. And then let's lift up through here. How are we doing on time? We're doing great. Okay, we're ditching the ball. We're coming up to standing. So we did all of that work kind of to build some of the strength in here. Now I want to kind of flow it out, kind of open up everything. So take a really wide stance. Go into parallel here. Just start to reach your hands all the way up to the ceiling. Drop the arms down. One more. Reach it all the way up. Drop the arms down. We're going to start to take your hands forward. Take your hands back. Open up the chest. And then back. Start to bend your knees. Pull your hips over your heels. Stretching out through the arms. Pressing it up. So you can feel that through that, 50 minutes of movement, kind of connecting deeply in your core into all of the muscles. You feel how much powerful some of these moves feel. So when we started out, it adds like a warm up. Right now, it's mostly like, wow, my whole body is connected. I'm staying really pulled in and up from my core. I'm able to tap into those muscles a little bit quicker. Let's hold here. Start to take your arms back and forward. So you're just opening up the chest, reaching your hands forward. Really nice. Keep pulling the core and stretching it out. And forward. Let's do two more. Forward, one more. And now we're going to round forward on this next one. You're pulling the abdominals and rounding towards the floor, lifting up in your chest into a flat back, and then circling the arms around. Rounding forward, pulling the core in, lifting up into a flat back, circle the arms around. So you're still connecting into the glutes here. Rounding it forward, pulling the core in, reaching it up and around. One more. Rounding it forward. So we're still at a slight hinge back. Now you're going to take your hands out, start to bend your right knee. You're going to press it up through here. So you're stretching out through that left leg, bending the right knee. Press it up. So you're pulling your hips back over your heels, keeping the abdominals in, and up. Let's do three more. And up, two more. And up, last one. And up. And now we're going to hold this position. Start to take your arms out into a T. Reach them in front of you. So you're shifting your weight backwards over your heels. Starting to move your arms in this position. Taking it back out into a T. You're going to hold your T. I want you to rotate to the right. Pull it back to center. Rotating to the right. Back to center here. Tiny rotations. Two more. One more. Good. And then take your hands forward. Let's press yourself all the way up, lifting out of the core. Let's go the opposite side, stretching out of that right leg, pressing through the left heel, stretching it out. So now if you find a wide enough stance, you'll feel kind of a nice stretch happening in the inner thigh. And up. Let's do three more. Up. Two more. And then let's hold this position. Start to take your arms out into a T. Take them in front of your head here. So you're trying to shift your weight backwards. So you're still connecting into that left glute. Stretching out through that right leg. Take your arms out into a T. We're rotating to the left. Use your abdominals to come back to center. Rotating. Abdominals come back. A nice little twist here. Let's do three more. Twist. Two more. And back. Last one. Good. And then take your hands back, lifting up through here. Let's take your heels facing inwards. Oh man, fully sweating. Take your hands all the way up. Drop them down here. You're gonna bend your knees slightly, shifting your hips backwards. So now you're pulling your abdominals in. Let's just start to take your arms back here. You're gonna round forward, pulling the core in, reaching your hands up, circling them around. Rounding forward, pulling the abdominals in, hovering at this forward hinge, reaching the arms around. 2 more. Rounding forward, all the way up, circle around. 1 more. Reaching it up, circle it around. Take your hands back here, turn your palms facing up, do tiny pulses up with the arms, trying to stretch out through the spine. Keep going through here. What you're doing is you're pulling your shoulder blades back, abdominals stay in. You're going to take your hands back behind your back here. We're going to press through that left leg. We're going to stretch out through here, come back to center. Go over to the other side, so stretching it through, back to center. Still holding that forward hinge, keeping the core in, stretching it out. Back to center. Let's press that left leg out. You're going to hold this position, rotate over to the right, but open up the chest. Come back to center. You're almost like pulling this right shoulder back. You're going to twist, twist. Oh, I got a nice little pop there. 2 more. Twist, twist. And 1 more. Twist, twist. Back to center. Press it out the other side. You're going to go twist, twist. I'm actually like pulling my left arm back, like to try to help me to twist a little bit more, but it's still coming from the core. Twist, twist, and 1 more. Twist, twist. Come back to center. Let's lift all the way up, reaching your hands all the way up. Let's do 2 arm circles here. And then let's make our way into a downward dog. Start to pedal through your feet, 1 foot at a time. Then drop your right foot down. Take your left knee into your chest. Stretch it all the way up. Get a nice stretch out of that side. Whew. Drop it down. Take your right knee into your chest. Stretch it all the way out. Drop it down. Start to pedal through your feet again. You're going to walk your hands into your hips. Let your heels be directly underneath your hips here. Check the time. Grab onto your elbows. Drop your head down. Just allow gravity to pull your way down to the floor. Nod your head yes. Shake your head no. You're going to release your hands down to the floor. You're going to pull your abdominals in. You're going to come up about halfway here. Just let your head hang. Start to just do tiny circles of the arm and just let inertia just continue the circle here. And then we're going to reverse the other way. And then you're going to slowly peel the spine up 1 vertebrae at a time, rolling through the spine here. I want to do one last, actually, I'm going to run out of time. I'm going to recommend a piriformis stretch. So because we did such deep glute work, you're going to take your knee in here, cross through here. This is the stretch here, and you're going to press this hip all the way down. You're going to do this nice twist, looking over. I want you to do it on both sides. Also, allow yourself some time to have some leg inversions. So if you can, take your legs up on the wall, allow some of the circulation to move around. We did a lot of like deep work inside of your legs, so make sure that you're allowing them to be inverted. I had so much to do here and I feel like I ran out of so much time. Anyway, I'll be posting the schedule for this week tonight. I hope you all join. I hope everybody feels great. Have a great Sunday, and there will be something tomorrow. So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.